today. And thank you all for supporting her. Thank you as we learn a new fundraising system, which has been interesting. And I got 5 questions from 5 different supporters, all with amounts of money from $30 to $1,500. The basic question is, Steve, what would you do if we gave you this money? Well, we've been using a lot of the money to keep Tracy's quality of life up. Some unexpected expenses paid, which the government claims don't exist, such as 13% inflation. We've been using a lot of the money to look at different forms of vitamin supplements to help Tracy through a difficult time, and add things to her shake to improve her quality of health. I would like to, at this time, thank her family for the vegetable powder they recently provided, which seems to be helping with some of the swelling, water retention, and possibly some of the voice issues, although it's a little early to tell. I've seen some significant improvement in her ability to let her feelings be known, which is greatly encouraging to me. I married her. I like her input. We work well as a team. One of the other things that she has encouraged me to come up with is a 5-step plan for an impossible dream, which she really likes to do. Many years ago, we thought it would be impossible for me to go to college. I got my bachelor's degree and I'm almost done with my master's degree. We got $96,000 of my student loan taken care of. We got $2,700 of debt that we never expected to incur from a mistake one of our children made 2 years ago, taken care of. We've been working very hard to live on a budget and maintain that budget and live within that budget. And I know this is not exciting, but if, let's say, a year down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, put your own timeline on it, we woke up one morning and we had $300,000 or $400,000 to just support her care, get her the treatment she needs, help her with communication, help her live a fuller life, and help other people like her, other family members. People wanted to know what I would do, and I'm so unused to thinking in terms of myself because it's been so long since I thought of anything about myself. First thing I would do is I would buy a home about 2,000, 2,500 square feet, and then I would set it up not only according to ADA compliance, but according to all the things that would make our life easier. Easier to organize, easier to get rid of trash, more parking for family members, associates, business helpers, collaborators, easier to do videos, easier to do social activities, meals, get-togethers, wine tastings, things that Tracy's family does. Not that we get any kind of um, compensation from this, but it's good social activity. The other thing that I've always wanted to do, and the thing that I've been trained for, is therapy. And over the last few weeks, I've been able to do a lot of therapy over the phone. I'm getting really better at that than I want to be. Um, I'd really like to have a place where I could have families in, discuss their problems, help them come up with a plan, because when you have a terminally ill family member or a seriously ill family member, you're not prepared for all the things you have to change. I literally wake up 10 minutes before a caregiver shows up. My body is on their schedule. I'm not complaining, I'm just telling you the facts. Um, I'm always trying to integrate enough new staff into our life so that if one of them gets ill or has to take care of their kids or has to do the things life demands of them, the agency, whoever that is, has enough space and time and adequate foreknowledge to just put another caregiver in there. I sat down and determined that between myself, my daughter, other caregivers, support staff from 3 different agencies, we've trained about 63 to 80 caregivers over 26 years. The other thing that you're not really prepared for is you don't get to see colleagues. I don't get to see other social workers, ministers, um, psychologists. My whole day is what goals has Tracy met? How can we help her reach better goals? I'm not complaining about that. That's just the way it is. And there are times where I'd like to take a walk. I'd like to go fishing. I'd like to spend time with friends. And if we made enough money, I would set up a lake on my property, a barbecue pit, a place where the family can um, rest and recuperate. I might have extra quarters for caregivers in case she needs caregiving at night, which we're going to have our first full time evening caregiver next week. So that's something I've been thinking about for a while. The other thing that I would do, just, well, it would benefit both of us, but I don't get a lot of physical therapy, and because it's just too time consuming, and the state won't pay for physical therapy for my legs or my back or anything related with my disability. Um, because it's so difficult to do all that with Medicaid, I would pay for a physical therapist to come in because I have to do a lot of range of motion for Tracy. Don't get any range of motion for myself, and so I would pay for that. Um, the other thing that I've always wanted to do, I spend a lot of my time facilitating transportation, teaching caregivers how to set up transportation, validating reasons for transportation to multiple agencies that pay for various parts of Tracy's care, um, which wouldn't be able to continue without our foundation. Um, I spend a lot of time looking at ways to modify what was supposed to be a handicapped accessible apartment to be safer for Tracy and staff. I would get our own lift bus. because we've had 4 times in the last year where the Medicaid transportation company forgot that my wife was in a very expensive wheelchair that the foundation paid for because physical therapist said it was necessary, so we got it. Um, I would get her her own lift bus so she could go and just pay the vehicle insurance, pay the driver a decent wage. Because I've had a lot of bad drivers. I've spent thousands of hours on lift buses. I've been stuck a lot of weird places because they don't know how to drive. They don't know how to follow a map. Um, I'd like to be able to just go and meet with other professionals, not be tied to my home office. Um, the other thing that I do, and I know this would be a great pleasure for my family, I would get some nerd, and I'm talking like a college level computer super nerd like they have at the colleges I've worked at. Some guy that is super glued to his laptop and just understands fundraising and really wants to help and blow things up beyond any level. And I would, say, help me get the link out there, connect with whatever young people you need to. Help me not to appear like the boring old tutor that I am. Help me not to put people asleep. We've had a lot of successes in the last week. Some of the things that weren't successful, we had a pretty wet carpet from a bed bath incident. Um, we had a new trainee lady here, and I had to write some letters for my wife for our rent and our other bills just to stay in the loop on certain things. And every time I left the front room and went into my office to write a letter, she wanted to know if Tracy was okay as soon as I was out of sight. And it was weird because all I think about every day, all day, is my wife and my family. I'm kind of weird that way. I don't play a lot of video games. I don't get involved in hobbies because 100% of my energy has to be what goal do I accomplish next? What does she need next? What does the family need next? What do our supporters need to understand? And how far can I go with that? Um, and I got a call from the state of Washington saying they were looking for social workers. And I've been on the hiring sheet for the last since 2007. This time, since they digitized it fully, I've been a licensed social worker since 1991. But when I graduated college with my AA in sociology and was getting my bachelor's in psychology, they put me on the active list. And what the active list means is every time they have a call out for a social service job, I get an email and I fill out the questions. And I filled out, I don't know, 200, 300 of these. And they'll call me back and go, "Oh, we liked your answers, but we hired from inside the agency. So we'll place your next job application higher in the hiring queue. You got 30 more points on whatever points you need to get hired." Well, yay. That's one scenario. The next scenario is they call and they tell you, "Steve, we'd like you to work with Agency X that's under the DSHS umbrella, and we'd like you to train so and so who didn't have the opportunity to go to school that you did, but they have all the ability to be a social worker, and we'd like you to show them the ropes. How to communicate with clients, what you look for in paperwork, how to manage difficult clients, how to look for issues a client may not be aware of, stuff like this." And I do that for a couple of months. I go in and I kind of walk them through things. It might even be more than one person. I kind of tutor them in what the job is and how difficult the job is and what to be prepared for. Then they come to me at the end of it and they say, Steve, you've done a wonderful job. We were going to hire you for job X, but we've decided it's better to have someone in the job who can drive, someone who's not disabled so it doesn't concern people. Thank you for hiring or tutoring X person. Um, we'll put your application higher in the list for hiring. This isn't going to happen this time. They promised me. And so I've started looking for active jobs there. Um, Also, um, a lot of my spare time, I have a friend who's a social worker who helped me finish up my real estate license. Um, I would like to do that, and then hoping that we had some sort of money left, I would invest it in property, flip it, and continue flipping property um, until we built up a firewall against things like inflation, difficulties with whatever might come up. Thirdly, Tracy thinks I should look into having a place to do counseling close to our home, but not in our home. Um, I've been helping with encouraging some young people that came out of foster care in how to find a job, how to make what they went through worth it. I would like to do more of that, but I would like to get paid and be able to put that into her foundation to help other people with Parkinson's, veterans, other needy groups. I really would like to get paid for giving back, basically. And these are the things we would like prayer for is that as the foundation grows and we continue to do good for ourselves, we're able to teach other people how to do good for themselves. Because I think it's a variable that's really lost. People want a lot of handouts today, they want everything easy. What we need to teach is some self reliance that can help your neighbors. That's one of the things we would strive to see in general because if you have to work for something, you're bound to respect it more than if it's just handed to you. Um, and over all of our counseling over last month, we were able to counsel several families dealing with serious issues. We counted some 17 families on our prayer list, another 9 that um, got a hold of us for various things. We're blessed by that, but our funds are running somewhat short. Um, we've gone out to a lot of ministry opportunities. We've supported a lot of marriage and a lot of families. And over the time, both of us have become concerned that when you support families, when you support churches, when you try to encourage mothers and fathers to support their families, people look at you a little weird because it's not drama, it's not modern, it's not cool. We need to stop worrying about what's cool and do what's right. And if you people are so inclined to bless us with financial support, I can assure you that as we learn the give, send, go model, we will do what is right. And trust me, my wife will squeeze every dollar to get the maximum out of it. If you like the way we do things and you want to become part of what we do, we would love to hear from you. And I know this video is not professional. I know that it's not polished. And I know that I'm not perfect. And I know I'm probably going to make a ton of mistakes. Please let me be human and understand that I'm learning as I go, and I'm going to stumble and I'm not going to be perfect.